I watch a lot of financial advice videos. Maybe you do too, so you know the kind of advice they're likely to give. Things like, cancel your Netflix subscription, or never again buy avocado toast, or stop getting coffee from outside the home. And this advice is fine, but it's all very individual. And as such, it fundamentally ignores things like systems, like society, like discrimination, that makes it so that even when some of us do everything right, we don't get the same returns as others. For example, there's research showing that when people with black-sounding names or Asian-sounding names apply for exactly the same job with exactly the same qualifications, they're less likely to be called into interview and they're offered less money than people with white-sounding names. It's this kind of research that we have to understand if we are truly going to look at and honestly assess and properly deal with the systems of disadvantage that mean that some of us are much more likely to end up in debt and financial precarity. In our research for Power to Prosper, we worked with people in communities like Lambeth and Newham, Nottingham and Manchester, and we found that these people weren't wasting their money on frivolous pursuits. They knew exactly how much money they had, they knew where it was going, and they knew where they needed it to go. The problem wasn't poor budgeting. The problem was that there was never enough. The money was too low. The work wasn't stable enough. The protections weren't strong enough. And with all of that in place, it's not that their behaviors were bad, but that the system was never designed for them to win. It wasn't like running a race. It was much more like running on a treadmill, where speeding up doesn't necessarily mean that you actually go any faster. And then there's the advice that says, well, why don't you just stay out of debt? And this is well-meaning advice, but it often doesn't take the reality of people's situations into account. It doesn't think about the low pay, the reduced options, the lowered protections, and it doesn't think about the inaccessibility of more traditional ways of solving problems. The truth is that for many people, they don't opt for these more difficult or more risky forms of debt because that's what they want or because they don't know any better. They have to accept them because literally that's the only choice they have. So what should we do? Well, I say, let's talk. Let's educate ourselves as much and as quickly as possible. Let's stop focusing so much on the ways in which we as individuals have been taught to think that we're bad or that we're failures. Let's instead spend more of our energy thinking about the systems that hold us back and make it impossible for some of us to succeed. Change is possible, but it's not going to happen if we spend all our time thinking about Netflix and coffee and avocado toast. It can happen if we learn to talk to each other and to build power and assets and wealth as communities, and to fight the systems that make it impossible for us to do well, even when we're doing everything right.